Tomorrow night, the first major debate of the presidential election gets underway, and this channel will be covering the details. The question is whether the economy will be front and center. What will Biden say? What will Trump say? And how will they give us indication about what's happening with your second stimulus check? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE, and I hope you're good and safe. This is afternoon's LALATE that usually has Rent at this time slot. But for the next 2 days, we'll be adding Rent with coverage of the presidential debate. Additionally, EIDL will be merged into this recording as well. Big twists and turns as we come into the first major presidential debate tomorrow night, Tuesday night. And a lot of questions surround whether the economy will be front and center. The answer is yes. If you've not subscribed to this channel, go to the front of this channel, subscribe, because this is the most comprehensive channel you're going to have on second stimulus, the fastest growing, and certainly the most comprehensive on all the facets that are involved. Also, like this video, because this is going to be one of those videos you're going to use to prepare for tomorrow night. Going into Tuesday's debate, all major indicators suggest that the number one topic that Americans want to hear is the economy. And it focuses on their relief more than corporate relief. Millions of Americans are unemployed. They simply don't have a job. They don't have extended unemployment benefits. They don't have jobs relief or sense of where things are going. They've been told things are sort of coming and then going. They come for a few weeks and then they're gone. It's that lack of clarity about future progress that millions of Americans are just fed up with. The president, by executive order several weeks ago, extended enhanced unemployment benefits for LWA. A lot of people didn't get it, and now that's expired. So then what? We're only in September, and we need extended enhanced unemployment benefits. If Congress can't get it done, why has the president not done by executive order? And with Biden running on the other side, his party is leading the Democratic House. Why have they not done a standalone bill for enhanced unemployment benefits as they've been called to do so? These are the type of questions that millions of Americans are asking, and they're asking me to give them the answer, and I certainly don't know what's going on. Here's what to know as we go into tomorrow's debate. 1. The number of millions of Americans unemployed is at a record high. Despite all indications, despite all false narratives from the Trump administration as to how great this economy is, or all signs of despair from the Biden camp as to how bad it is, the economy has slowly improved from its worst levels, but is not rebounded. It can be called almost a double dip recession, but we're not seeing yet the double part of the dip. It went down and it slowly came up, but it certainly has not improved. The numbers that are key and front and center as we go into tomorrow's debate are unemployment. 700, 800,000 new jobless claims per week. These are new people. These aren't people who were unemployed before and became reemployed. These are new unemployment claims. It was over 1 million for 23-something weeks, then dropped a little bit for 1 week, and then shot back up. It's not a number to be proud of. It's 25-something weeks. Before this pandemic hit, we were at 200,000 unemployment claims per week. So to say that we're rebounded is not true. The Trump administration, President Trump says in Tuesday's debate that we've rebounded, the economy's back to normal. It's categorically false. 200,000 to 1 million to 800,000 and still holding at 800,000, that's not rebounded. People don't have jobs to go back to. And let's understand that when we talk about new jobless claims, it includes people who couldn't even find part-time, a few hours, sort of much of nothing, temp jobs. It includes people who couldn't even find that. Because if you found those type of jobs, you would have already been in the list as well. There's a lot of indicators that come out on a regular basis, and jobs numbers is not a good one. expect to hear the President Trump tomorrow night talk about the jobs numbers. How many new jobs have been created? This is not a good indicator of where the economy is, because that jobs numbers report that's published every month includes temp jobs, partial jobs, a few hours here. They're not permanent long-time jobs. Those were lost. And so ultimately you need to look at the jobless claims. Next, you need to look at what states the numbers are racing and why they're racing. And it's not a blue state versus red state situation. It's as simple as that. Ultimately, Vice President Biden may say that the states that have been very Republican-led are the ones that have not rebounded as well. No, they've all struggled. We've all struggled. Ultimately, the question is, where does the relief come from? And I got to tell you, this is my personal opinion, and I've seen it in some of the comments as well, that the biggest deciding factor when we talk about the economy and the presidential candidates is who will voters blame. When you don't have enhanced unemployment benefits, when you don't have a stimulus check, who will you blame? Or will you blame them all? And the voters of the purple power have almost unanimously held, they all have to be gone. Every incumbent, whether it's House or Senate, whether it's president or vice president, you all have to be gone because you didn't give us stimulus. The question is whether other people who are not part of the purple power agree the same way. The question is, do people understand that the president could have done an executive order to give you stimulus checks, could have done an executive order to give you enhanced unemployment benefits, but may be told on Tuesday night it was the fault of Biden's party, the House, to not get you what you needed, and they believe it, unsure. But generally people blame the people in office when they don't get the economic relief they want. And Biden should know this, and certainly the Temple of Doom should know this. When Bill Clinton ran for president, his message with George Stephanopoulos and his colleague from the other side, both unanimously felt the major message was, and they stayed on it the entire campaign, as it's the economy, stupid. It is the economy, stupid, once again. This is much the same situation that Bill Clinton had to deal with. An economy that's in a mess, that no one's doing much of nothing, and that all we're being told is on the Republican side, we're all great, and on the Democratic side, let's talk about how horrible people are, but not give you relief. Democrats have been to blame, and the Republicans have been for blame. And ultimately, Wall Street might be to blame. And I certainly, as I sit here tonight, certainly believe that the Federal Reserve is to be blamed. Wharton School professor Jeremy Siegel, who's very well regarded, who focuses on liquidity and financial floating of money through the markets, says that there needs to be a lot more stimulus out there. That's, it's sort of universally a position of everyone else. First world countries across the world who have dealt with this pandemic have spent 30% of their GDP on stimulus. So if their country's GDP is 100 trillion, and they spent 30% of that. In the United States, how much have we spent? Not even 15%, 15. There's going to be a lot of talk about taxes. This is certainly not the time to be talking about taxes, but there's going to be a lot of talk about taxes on Tuesday night, because Biden has proposed raising corporate taxes to 28% from 21%. It had previously been 35%, and Trump slashed it in 2017 from 35 to 21. Now Biden wants to bring it back up to 28. Trump has suggested that the tax increase would do nothing and drop down to do nothing, and that it would hurt the U.S. economy. Some of Biden's supporters believe that ultimately it would hurt the economy to start, but then ultimately would help it thereafter. Is that really something we need to be doing, though, now? Hurting things and then helping them help later? In the long run, if you get the country right and you get the balance right, markets will be stronger. I don't see that right, I don't agree with that comment from a person in the CNBC today. But Siegel says that the Federal Reserve and the Congress has been pumping trillions of dollars in the economy and says we need a lot more liquidity. I'm a monetary theorist, and this is what I teach in theory. It's an unprecedented time in 75 years. I think there's a lot of repressed liquidity in the market, and we're going to see a big boost in activity. The question is how much more liquidity needs to go in there. I've been deeply critical of the Federal Reserve not putting liquidity in this market, and the Federal Reserve launched the Main Street Lending Program, really did much of nothing. And as we sit here today, EIDL loans are going left and right, not going really well at the moment, with a cap on the amount of loans from Javita. PPP loans are no longer in existence because they've expired. The Temple of Doom in the HEROES Act didn't even give a new round of PPP loans. And people need liquidity. They need grants. They need money. They need relief. And they're just not getting it. The question is, when we watch Tuesday's debate, who will make the message clear to a lot of people who have heard a lot of quotes but heard much of nothing? And then there's this. Certainly at the 10-minute mark, the big question is whether there will be an announcement of an executive order during the debate. Countless viewers on a daily basis ask me, when is the president going to do the executive order? Is it all talk? Is it finally going to happen? And will he announce it with a lot of pageantry at the 11th hour? Tomorrow could be the 11th hour. He could announce a stimulus check executive order tomorrow night. He could announce an extension of FPUC tomorrow night. He could announce a lot of strange things that one would saw coming. He did that last Friday when he announced that $300 check that's coming to individuals on Medicare to provide help to them so that they can buy their medicine. It just sort of came out of nowhere, and it was in the middle of a campaign stop in the Southeast. What are your comments? 127 comments to yesterday's video about rent. I've been tweeting all the politicians and the president to put our money where their mouth is, says Janice Kennedy. Faith Love, Nancy needs to put the bottle down. She looks ridiculous. No seats, no stimulus. Balua Carter, Purple Power family, Mississippi in the house. Good evening, everybody. Hello. Vanetta Foxell. Oh, yeah, it's like they're waiting for COVID. Ellen Vargas, most people don't qualify for it. If I didn't qualify it, people didn't get it. Gilly B, good evening, LA and Purple Power. Hello. Bobby the Handsome Guy Johnson, that's his screen name. LA, my girlfriend loves your hair and Purple Power rules. Well, thank you. I appreciate she loves my hair. Malaya Oric, good evening, my Purple family. LA, I'm praying for a miracle to happen. Michelle Rosado, they should do $2 trillion and pass it this week, not next week. Amen. $2 trillion is a bill amount for the second stimulus package that would get it done. I'd love to hear that in the debate Tuesday night. Antonio Perez, LA, you belong in the arena of political, legislative, involving people. You get my vote. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your continued insight and support to the people. You could certainly teach Congress many lessons. I thank you. But without the use of cows and lobster. Really love your humor side. Purple's your color. Blessing to you and all. Well, I appreciate that. Candy Brown. Come on, Purple Power. We're almost there. Get ready, set, go to the finish line. We got this, people. James Adventures. And how do you like Americans treat you now? Gary, we're going to do this for one lump sum of money. By the time that comes, it'll be used when it's in November. Penny McGinnis, I owe $3,600 of rent. I'm advised I might be getting something in the mail. Good. If you have questions for today's video, drop them in the comments below. There is a lot developing. I'll be watching tomorrow. I'm not sure what type of program we have lined up special for tomorrow's debate, but I'm figuring it out. As always, go to the Friends channel, subscribe. Fastest growing community on the internet, most watched stimulus channel. This morning's video is a bombshell of a hit. It's our most watched video ever in its first 4 hours. It's at 115,000 views already and 15,000 likes, so let's keep it going. Also like this video because, you know, who takes care of you more than me and the cows? Coming up next is Evenings LA at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time with the check and Purple Power returns. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA.